She is in stable condition and is in isolation at home. Juno Award organizers announced that the Prominent Music Award show has been canceled this morning. Juno events were set to kick off in Saskatoon later today in the run-up to Sunday's televised gala. Prime Minister Trudeau is self-isolating after his wife began exhibiting flu-like symptoms after returning from an event in the UK. A statement from the Prime Minister's office said she is being tested for the virus. They are both self-isolating at home while awaiting the test results. A child in Calgary tested positive as Canada's first case of the virus, a minor. The child was attending a daycare in downtown Calgary. The daycare has since closed temporarily, and families that made contact with the daycare have been advised to go into self-isolation. Meanwhile, in the United States, the New York Stock Exchange halted trading after the S&P 500 fell 7% this morning. President Trump announced a 30-day travel ban to the U.S. by Europeans, along with restrictions on cargo. He later explained that his plan did not apply to Americans or permanent U.S. residents, though such travelers would face mandatory quarantines. In Canada, the total number of coronavirus cases is 135, with one death reported. There are over 129,000 cases globally, with more than 4,700 reported deaths. A traffic stop in Cape Breton on Wednesday resulted in a significant seizure of cannabis and illegal tobacco. The vehicle was stopped on Highway 105 by an RCMP officer because it was swaying between the center line and the shoulder of the road. Among the items seized were 152 cartons of unstamped tobacco, more than 1,400 grams of cannabis edibles, 32 grams of marijuana, and more than 900 grams of what appears to be homemade cannabis butter, among others. The 68-year-old driver from Newfoundland faces charges of possession of unstamped tobacco and possession of cannabis. He appears in court on May 6th. In Seaside FM Sports, the NHL announced today that it has suspended its season until further notice in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Tonight's games are canceled as a result. With the NBA season suspended until further notice, Milwaukee is first in the league with a 53-12 record, while the Raptors are second best in the East at 46-18, 6.5 games behind the Bucks. In the West, 49-14 Lakers are in top spot, while the Clippers at 44-20 are 5.5 back in second place. In NBL action last night, Hurricanes dropped a 120-113 game in Windsor. They scored 36 points in the fourth quarter. Halifax is now 8-16, and their road trip will resume on Saturday night against the Sudbury Five, who have 12 wins so far. That's news and sports. Your weather is up next. In Seaside FM weather, tonight, cloudy with fog patches developing overnight and a low of -3. Friday, a mix of sun and cloud becoming cloudy with a chance of showers in the afternoon. Wind southeast 20 gusting to 40 in the morning, then 40 gusting to 60 in the afternoon, with a high of +4 and wind chill of -8. Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 6, and Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of +2. For weather updates anytime, visit seasidefm.com. I'm Alex Heighton.
You've got a friend you can always turn to.
105.9 Seaside FM.
following program is brought to you in the high-power stereophonic sounds of Seaside FM in conjunction with...
My name is Charles Hsuen and I'm your host. December 21st, 1988. 1989. My name is Charles Hsuen. Welcome. 1990. And welcome to our second anniversary show.
My name is Charles Hsuen. Welcome.
April 3rd, 1994. And welcome to our 6th anniversary
My
show.
name is Charles Hsuen and welcome.
Today's date is October 18th, 2004.
Welcome to Charles' Tape Series.
Welcome to the JSC.
Welcome to An Evening with Charles Hsuen.
Welcome to the Swing Arrangement with Charles Hsuen.
Welcome to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen. CQHS Productions celebrating 31 years in broadcasting. And a good Thursday evening, everyone. Today's date is March the 12th, 2020. Welcome to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen, right here on 105.9 Seaside FM, your home for the best music. Oh, no, that's not our theme song. This is our theme song. The program is brought to you in... And that is not even our theme song. It doesn't seem to be going as what we planned to be. This is our theme song. A pleasant good evening to all. I'm Charles Hsuen, and this is Evening Solitude. I bring you music until a program close. That's going to be down the line at 8 p.m. We are broadcasting to you live from our studios in the heart of Eastern Passage. And if you're picking us up on local radio, it's frequency modulation station signal, 105.9 megahertz on your FM dial, on the internet at seasidefm.com, on Bell Line Digital TV channel 779, East Link Digital TV channel 952. You can also pick us up on your mobile device at seasidefm.com and click the Listen Live button on your screen. And if you want to watch and listen to me, you can do so on YouTube Live, Twitch TV, or Facebook Live, and you can just search for Charles, Hsuen, and type in the date, March 12, and you will be able to get a link to watch and listen to me and see what goes on behind the scenes here. If you want to contact me, you can do it one of three ways: lifting up your phone and giving us a shout here at 469-6000. That's area code 902-469-6000. You can email me with your requests at requests@seasidefm.com, or add me to one of those three channels, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or Twitch TV, and then you can type anything on the messenger service on those services. A beautiful day it has turned out to be here in the Halifax Regional Municipality, and so I thought we might play a little bit of Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet to start things off. Here they do a big hit that was made famous by Ethel Merman in Gypsy. Here is Together Wherever We Go.
Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're gonna go through it together.
We may not go far, but sure as a star, wherever we are, it's together.
Wherever I go, I know he goes.
Wherever I go, I know she goes.
No fits, no fights, no feuds, and no egos.
Amigos, together.
Through thick and through thin, all out or all in.
And whether it's win, place, or show,
With you for me,
and me for you,
we'll muddle through whatever we do together, wherever we go. Whenever we're broke,
I know that it's oak.
as long as we joke it together. Wherever we sleep,
If prices are steep,
we'll always sleep cheaper together. Whatever
know. With all my vim
and all my bird.
Now all we need is someone with nerve.
Together, wherever, together, wherever we go.
Video streaming on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch TV. You're watching and listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
More than the greatest love the world has known. This is the love I give to you alone. More than the simple words I try to say. I only live to love you more each day. More than you'll ever know. My arms long to hold you so. My life will be in your keeping, waking, sleeping, laughing, weeping. Longer than always is a long, long time. But far beyond forever, you're gonna be mine. I know I never lived before, and my heart is very sure no one else could love you more. More than you'll ever know, my arms, they long to hold you so. My life will be in your keeping, waking, sleeping, laughing and weeping. Longer than always is a long, long time. But far beyond forever, you'll be mine. Before, and my heart is very sure no one else could love you more. No one else could love you more.
Frank Sinatra and Count Basie and his orchestra from 1964. The theme from Mondo Cane. That was More, of course, made famous by so many great people, including Bobby Darin and Andy Williams and so many of the greats. And Frank Sinatra took a stab at it in 1964, the second time that he united with Count Basie. When they originally were collaborating, there were a lot of doubts because they thought that Count Basie's swing style was too raucous and would drown out the powerful Frank Sinatra. Well, that wasn't the case. In fact, through fantastic arranging by Quincy Jones, Sinatra sang around and the offbeats, which complemented so far. And years later, in 1967, when Frank Sinatra decided to recreate or replicate that with the Duke Ellington Orchestra, they just couldn't. They couldn't swing as well as Count Basie. So there you have it. More, the theme from Mondo Cane. To start things off on that set, Steve Lawrence and his wife Edie Gourmet, and that was Together Wherever We Go. That one, of course, from the Broadway production and motion picture Gypsy, starring Ethel Merman. Unfortunately, these days, Steve Lawrence is not doing too well. He has had a bout of Alzheimer's, and he's at the age of 84. He lost his wife, Edie Gourmet, who was a few years older than he was Not a lot of people knew that, and so he is now retired and living a quiet life. My name is Charles Hsuen, and this is Evening Solitude. We're going to continue on sounds with Les and Larry Elgart. Those of you who are not watching and listening to us on one of the video streams would appreciate living stereo. And so if you have headphones, or if you're in a car, or if you're in a really nice stereo system, you can listen to the separation of the brass back and forth. Les and Larry Elgart was a pair of brothers who had a fantastic way of presenting music, and it was known as the Elgart sound. It was engineered in a way which they separated the brass left and right, and they came up with these very creative arrangements of big band hits that were popular 20 years prior to them recording them. This one coming from 1966, Charlie Barnett's big hit that he made in 1941 called Skyliner. Here is Les and Larry Elgart right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen. Celebrating 31 years in broadcasting. My name is Charles Hsuen, and this is Evening Solitude on Seaside FM, the home of good music.
Buzz, line is busy every time that I phone. Buzz, he's the longest talker I've ever known. Buzz, I've been trying hard to reach him all day. Buzz, when I get him I forgot what to say. Should I call the operator? Is the number that he gave me my own? Buzz, I've been sitting here and dialing all day. Buzz, got to get him and there must be a way. Buzz, if you heard the way he begged me to call. Buzz, you could never understand it at all. When I met him he was quiet, but now he's learned to talk. Buzz, think I'm going to give up. Can't stand it anymore. Buzz, I've decided that this romance is through. Can it be true that it is ringing? I can't believe it. Wait till I say hello. I'm going to give up. Can't stand it anymore. Buzz, buzz, I've decided that this romance is through. Can it be true that it is ringing? I can't believe it. Wait till I say hello.
That is Diana Patton from To Brazil with Love, and that's from 2011. That's the Telephone Song, and Diana Patton came up from the Toronto ranks, and she has now been known nationally as one of Canada's leading vocalists, jazz vocalists. And so that one was out of Antonio Carlos Jobim's pen, and that is the Telephone Song. Before that, Les and Larry Elgart, and that one coming from the penmanship of Charlie Barnett from 1941, and that was Skyliner, done in living stereo, as they said, and it was a fantastic little piece of music that he recorded and re-released in 1966 of the big hits of the big band. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is Nelson Riddle. Hear the spectrum of music of the Great American Songbook and more. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen, right here on 105.9 Seaside FM, the home of good music.
The weather is frightening, the thunder and lightning seem to be having their way. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a lovely day. The turn in the weather will keep us together, so I can honestly say that as far as I'm concerned, it's a lovely day. And everything's okay. Isn't this a lovely day to be caught in the rain? You were going on your way, now you've got to remain. Just as you were going, leaving me all at sea, the clouds broke, they broke, and oh, what a break for me. I can see the sun up high, though we're caught in a storm. I can see where you and I could be cozy and warm. Let the rain pitter-patter, but it really doesn't matter if skies are gray. Long as I can be with you, it's a lovely day. Sun up high, though we're caught in a storm. And I can see where you and I could be cozy and warm. Let that rain pitter-patter, doesn't matter if skies are gray. Long as I can be with you, it's a lovely day.
Now, I know you know that voice because you heard it and have heard it on many animated shows and motion pictures. That's Seth MacFarlane in his one of 5 crooner albums that he has made with a fantastic orchestra. That is, of course, Isn't It a Lovely Day? And that was originally made famous by Fred Astaire. And he did that with Terry Woodson and his orchestra. Before that, we heard Nelson Riddle and Brother John, or Frere Jacques. That one coming from a 1966 television special, Matt Monro on the BBC. And that was an unreleased album and just released recently in the last few years, and a fantastic arrangement by the great Nelson Riddle. Speaking of which, another person who has made a lot of arrangements of great pieces of music from film was Tierney Sutton, and she came out with a great album last year called Screenplay. And here's the Tierney Sutton Band doing a great piece of music that came from the Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta motion picture in 1979 called Grease. I remember because Grease was the very first movie that I watched on videotape at home. We had a videotape machine. It cost us $3,000 back then for a videotape machine in 1980. And the movies themselves were about $300. So quite pricey to have home entertainment back then. Now it costs virtually nothing to be able to have entertainment at the palm of your hand. Here is You're the One That I Want. Tierney Sutton and her band doing her take on the theme from Grease. celebrating 31 years in broadcasting and loving every minute of it. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen right here on 105.9 Seaside FM, the home of good music. Hear the crooners, the big bands, the small groups, and more. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen right here on 105.9 Seaside FM, the home of good music. You've just been listening to Sid Dale, and that was Running to Time from 1972, done in that great waltz fashion. And then before that, Tierney Sutton with You're the One That I Want, of course, from Grease. And that's a fantastic motion picture. Of course, everyone's favorite musical of the late 1970s, starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. My name is Charles Hsuen, and this is Evening Solitude. We're coming up to about 39 minutes past the hour and 21 minutes to the top. And then we're going to present to you some more great music of the 20th century and beyond of the Great American Songbook. We're going to continue on sounds with Melody Gardot. She had a wonderful album, Baby I'm a Fool, and her story, as I've mentioned many times before, is one of great inspiration. She had never done any jazz vocals before, and then she was a biker, and she got into a car accident, or a bike accident with a car, and she had to go through rehabilitation, and then through her rehabilitation did jazz singing, and she's made a career out of it. So she did an album called Baby I'm a Fool, and I believe one of the tracks was from Wizard of Oz's 1939 with Judy Garland, Over the Rainbow. But I heard a live version of it the other day, and I thought it's a neat variation on her arrangement that she made famous. So here it is, live in Europe, and this is Melody Gardot from 2018, Over the Rainbow, right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. No, somewhere over the rainbow sky are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. All I ever know where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney top. that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, no, little bitty bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then why can't Someday I'll wish up on the sky and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me now. Somewhere over the rainbow, now bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then why can't I? Oh, why then why can't I? Said why then why can't I? Happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't
The great Melody Gardot with Over the Rainbow, that live performance from Europe in 2018. And that, of course, comes from Judy Garland's discography, which she made famous in The Wizard of Oz in 1939. My name is Charles Hsuen, and this is Evening Solitude. We're going to be giving you now your full 5-day Metro Weather Call forecast for Halifax and the surrounding area.
What's tomorrow's weather? What's the low? What's the high? Will it be wet or dry?
Here's your Metro Weather Call forecast for Halifax and the surrounding area. For tonight, a few clouds, fog patches developing overnight, with a low of -3 except -8 in low-lying inland areas. On Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, becoming cloudy near noon, 30% chance of showers late in the afternoon. Winds gusting up to 60 kilometers per hour, high of 4. Wind chill at -8 in the morning, UV index reading at 3. That's in the moderate category. On Friday night, rain ending overnight, then partly cloudy, a 30% chance of showers. Amounts to 20 millimeters, winds gusting up to 80 kilometers per hour. Temperature rising to 8 by morning. On Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud, high of 6, low of -4. Sunday, high of 2, low of -9. And Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you're looking at highs of 0, 2, and 5, and lows of -8, 0, and 0, respectively. For more weather information, log on to seasidefm.com. Current temperature outside the studios of Seaside FM, Eastern Passage, Fisherman's Cove. It is 1 degree Celsius. Partly cloudy, barometric pressure reading at 102.5 kilopascals and rising. Humidities at 70%. That's your Metro Weather Call forecast, and now a word from some of our sponsors.
Seaside FM weather brought to you by Parkland at the Lakes, featuring all-inclusive living, assisted living, and memory care accommodations. Trial stay options also available. Call Mary Ann today for a complimentary lunch and tour. 902-407-0778.
Geordie Brown, live in concert. Nova Scotia's own award-winning singer-actor takes the stage at the Rebecca Cohen, Friday, March 27th. Don't miss one of the most versatile vocalists in the country performing some of his favorite songs from The Rat Pack, Stan Rogers, Anne Murray, Foreigner, and your favorite Broadway hits. Backed by an all-star band and special guest violinist Artem Kolosov. Friday, March 27th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets at the Rebecca Cohen box office or geordiebrown.com.
Come rock the Danube with fellow Seaside FM listeners and Avalon Waterways, October 15th to the 22nd, 2020. This exclusive river cruise features concerts with Miles Goodwin of April Wine, Heather Rankin, and a lively kitchen party. Cruise in 5-star luxury along the Danube through Hungary and Austria. Take in the scenery, enjoy the music, meet local folk, and choose activities that appeal to you. Call the Niche Travel Group at 902-407-4567 or Wendy Dunham Travel at 902-463-5393 for details and to book.
This is the adult grown-up sound, Seaside FM.
That is the overture from Finian's Rainbow. Of course, a big production that was on Broadway in 1947 and then became a motion picture in 1968. I can't get over the wonderful pieces of music that were part of that, and of course made famous by Petula Clark and Fred Astaire in that 1968 motion picture that was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, his very first motion picture. Before that, I guess we heard, I did the weather. I didn't play anything before that. That was the overture, and it had Old Devil Moon, How Are Things in Glockamora, and so many other great pieces. We're just coming up to about 7 minutes to the top of the hour. Hello goes out to many of my friends listening to us, including Brian Nelson, Dr. Brian Nelson, who is in Seashelt in BC. So coast to coast, we are broadcasting around the world on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch TV, as well as seasidefm.com. We're going to continue on sounds. What do I have? Yes, last night I had a good friend of mine come over and watch a movie that I watch yearly because I think it's a wonderfully directed and written movie. And the plot line is quite complex for something that came out of the early 1980s. And it was Blake Edwards' Victor Victoria, which starred his wife, Julie Andrews, and James Garner and Leslie Ann Warren, who won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and Robert Preston. So it was star-studded cast. But it also, I guess, revealed and indicated how great Blake Edwards is as a film director, because you really don't need much dialogue in many of the wonderful scenes. I won't give the plot away, but the climax of the movie, of course, is this wonderful dance number that Julie Andrews sings, and that is Le Jazz Hot. And so we're going to be hearing that particular piece of music right now to bring us to close to the top of the hour. Here it is, Le Jazz Hot.
About 20 years ago, way down in New Orleans, a group of fellas found a new kind of music, and they decided to call it jazz. No other sound has what this music has. Before they knew it, it was whizzing round the world. The world was ready for a blue kind of music, and now they play it from Steamboat Springs to La Paz. It's really something to hear. I can't sit still when there's that rhythm near me. Oh, so baby, the jazz hot. Maybe what's holding my soul together. Morning or night, only know it's sounding right. So come on in and play me the jazz hot, baby, 'cause I love my jazz hot.
From Eastern Passage, we're CFEP 105.9 Seaside FM, your home of the best music.
Bringing to you the Great American Songbook from the 20th century and beyond. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen on Seaside FM. Pleasure. Good evening to you all. I'm Charles Hsuen, and welcome back to the second of 2 hours right here on Evening Solitude. I bring you music until the program close. That's going to be down the line at 8 p.m. It is exactly the stroke of 7 p.m. That snap means that it is 7 p.m. exactly Seaside FM time. And we hope that you've enjoyed the last 60 minutes of music of the 20th century and beyond of some of the Great American Songbook. And we just concluded with Le Hot Jazz, and that, or Le Jazz Hot, coming from the soundtrack of Victor Victoria, that 1983 MGM motion picture directed by Blake Edwards, starring Julie Andrews, James Gardner, Robert Preston, and Leslie Ann Warren. And Jonathan Rhys Davies is also in there from Indiana Jones, and a whole cast of great extras. It was a wonderfully directed movie, and I remember seeing that on CED disc in the mid-1980s. Before VHS became very popular, we had these records that would play music and movies. And so it was quite interesting. And that was Henry Mancini's penmanship of that great song, and it's the climax of that motion picture. Rent it or see it wherever you can. We are going to continue on Sounds with a piece of music that I have dug up from the Nat King Cole discography. This coming from a piece of music that of a box set that came from a German label called Bear Family that released all of Nat King Cole's music. And the entire discography, this massive 25 CD box set, covered the years of 1955 to 1965, just 10 years of music. And unfortunately, he died at a very young age, but to get his vocal stylings, the way and the timbre of his voice, he would smoke a full pack of cigarettes before he would do a track of song. That's what gave him his voice. And eventually he died of lung cancer. Well, here is The Best Thing for You Would Be Me. This one coming from 1956, Nelson Riddle and the orchestra backing the great Nat King Cole up in this great piece of music. Here it is.
Only want what's the best thing for you, and the best thing for you would be me. I've been convinced after thinking it through that the best thing for you would be me. Every day to myself I say, point the way, what will it be? I ask myself, what's the best thing for you? And myself and I seem to agree that the best thing for you would be me. Yes, the best thing for you would be me. Yes, the best thing for you would be me. Every day to myself I say, point point the way, what will it be? I ask myself, what's the best thing for you? And myself and I seem to agree that the best thing for you, yes, the best thing for you would be me.
Bringing to you music from the Great American Songbook from the 20th century and beyond. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen. When There's a Shine on Your Shoes. That was Captain Robert Farnon doing the music of Bandwagon, which was a Fred Astaire motion picture. And, of course, a great musical number that Fred Astaire executed in his tap dancing style. And that Robert Farnon, being a Canadian-born musician, spent most of his life in the UK and did these wonderful, lush arrangements, as you just heard. Before that, Nat King Cole, The Best Thing for You Would Be Me, and that one from 1956, Nelson Riddle and the orchestra backing Nat up for that. My name is Charles Hsuen, and here is Secret Story. This is the name of the album that Pat Metheny made in 1992, and this is actually a bonus track that came out of it. And the great Toots Thielman whistles on this piece of music, as well as plays his famous harmonica, and it's called As If It Were the End. Here's the Pat Metheny Group. to you the rich sounds of the golden age of the Great American Songbook. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
I've been around, 'cause I'm a guy who covers lots of ground. Yes, I've been around the world, but I've never been around with you.
I've climbed the Alps, the Pyrenees. I've sailed the surf on my water skis. And baby, let me add, there's a lot I haven't had, and the bottom line is sad but true. I have hung around the world, but I've never hung around with you.
I've seen some very fancy places,
But they never wound my clock.
there is not a lot of treasure, but it would be a pleasure to walk you around the block.
I've seen the Louvre and Singapore.
Then a man of the world needs more.
I've been around the world, but I've never done the world with you. Yes, I've been around the world, but I've never been around with you. I've been to France.
I've been to Maine.
I've seen it rain on the plain in Spain.
I've been around the world, but I've never been around with you. I've been to Rome.
I've done Madrid.
I want to do what Columbus did. Without a map, without a fleet, let my heart direct my feet.
And the bottom line is sad but true.
I've been around the world, but I've never been around with you.
One ticket sounds a little lonely.
But two tickets sound like fun.
Baby, you can turn a stateroom into a really great room before our cruise is done.
Let's do it now.
Let's do it right.
If you're with me, you know you'll travel light.
Chased around the world, but I never chased around with you.
Yes, I've been around the world.
Yeah, I've been around the world.
I've sailed around the world, but I never sailed around with you.
With you.
That was Frank Sinatra Jr. and a singer we heard early in the program, Tierney Sutton, with I've Been Around. Patrick Williams in the orchestra backing the both of them up. Patrick Williams did Frank Sinatra Jr.'s father, Frank Sinatra Sr., in both of the duets albums in the early 1990s. And that, I think, is a fantastic duet between Frank Jr. and Tierney Sutton. As I've always mentioned, Frank Sinatra Jr. had the best Frank Sinatra Sr. impression as far as timbre and tone and execution is concerned. You see anybody who can top Frank Sinatra Jr. in doing his father, give it to me, because there is never anybody. There sometimes almost gives me goosebumps when I do hear Frank Sinatra Jr. It is a bit lighter, but when I do hear Frank Sinatra Jr. recording, it does give me goosebumps because it's Frank Sinatra Sr.'s voice in a different, just a slightly different tone. Anyways, that was I've Been Around, and before that, Pat Metheny, As If It Were the End, and that is Toots Thielman in whistling and as also in harmonica, and that was the Metropole Orchestra backing up Pat Metheny. We are here on Seaside FM 105.9, your home for the best music. We're going to continue on sounds with Charlie Parker, and this is the 65th anniversary of his passing. Yardbird, or Bird was what he was known, changed the scope of how jazz music came from in big band as well as swing. He was one of the instrumental people to start the bebop movement and bring jazz in a more free form way and going beyond the regular scales. And him and Dizzy Gillespie and so many other great musicians of the 1940s created this new jazz sound that was cooler than the big bands of the 1930s. So we're going to play a piece of music that is commercially Charlie Parker's most famous works. They were panned by the critics when they first came out, and it was because Parker had a string orchestra back him up in these recordings. But in hindsight, and in modern day, these are known as the most classic recordings because Parker never changed the style of his saxophone playing, even though he was backed up by strings. And so these are regarded as some of the best critiqued recordings of his discography. Here is Autumn in New York, and this one coming from 1952. Charlie Parker with strings, right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen, as we lost him 65 years ago today. The great Charlie Parker, backed up with strings with Autumn in New York. We, as I said, lost him at this day 65 years ago. He was just in his mid-30s. He was terribly addicted to drugs and alcohol. And if you ever watched the movie or read biographies on him, when the coroner examined his body, they thought that he was a 65-year-old man. He was only 34 years old. There we have it, Autumn in New York. A Toronto musician and teacher named Peter Dick is a piano player and has put out a great album called Poetic License from 2019. I heard this on the radio the other day. I thought I might play it for you. It's just a beautiful piece of music. This one is called Tapestry, and here is Peter Dick on piano. Bring to you the swingiest sounds of the golden age of the Great American Songbook. You're listening to Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
You're always sorry. You're always grateful. You're always wondering what might have been. And she walks in. And still you're sorry. And still you're grateful. And still you wonder. And still you doubt. and she goes out. Everything's different, nothing's changed, only maybe slightly rearranged. You're sorry, grateful, regretful, happy. Why look for answers where none occur? You always are what you always were, which has nothing to do with, all to do with her. Sorry, you're always grateful. You hold her thinking, I'm not alone. You're still alone. You don't live for her, you do live with her. You're scared she's starting to drift away, and scared she'll stay. Good things get better, bad get worse. Wait, I think I meant that in reverse. You're sorry, grateful, regretful, happy. Why look for answers where none occur? You'll always be what you always were, which has nothing to do with, all to do with her. You'll always be what you always were, which has nothing to do with, all to do with her.
Words and music by Stephen Sondheim from the 1970 Broadway production of Company. That one coming from 2012 called Simply Broadway. Brian Stokes Mitchell and Sorry Grateful. Fantastic. Those of you who don't know who Brian Stokes Mitchell is, he played Trevor, who's Hilary's interest in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Just a little tidbit of information there. Okay, before that we heard Peter Dick and Tapestry, that one coming from a brand new album that he has put out called Poetic License from 2019. My name is Charles Hsuen. This is Evening Solitude. Hello goes out to the Thomas family listening to us in Stouffville, I believe. The Thomas family, Bill Thomas, Kim Thomas, William Thomas, or Bill Thomas Jr., and Alicia. Hello goes out to all of you listening to us. Bill Thomas was my music teacher. He shaped me as an individual, and he is responsible for my music and my production, and as well as many of the pieces of music that you hear today in Music Appreciation. So thank you to him. Hello goes out to Chad Whiteway, listening to us here in the HRM. Mark Joyce, listening to us in the greater part of Nova Scotia, I believe in New Glasgow. Jim Smith, so hello goes out to all of you. And a happy birthday goes out to Linda in Herring Cove. Thank you very much, Linda, for listening to us. We're going to continue on sounds with the Pizzicato Five. This was a group that came out with a number of slight hits in the early 2000s and the late 90s. This is a Japanese band doing a little bit of French, a little bit of jazz, and a little bit of easy listening. Here is I, right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
私のことあなたはまだ誤解しているかもしれないわね私のことあなたは今嫌な女だって思ってるんでしょそうよ私はでたらめで気まぐれで生意気でわがままで贅沢で気取り屋で嘘つきであやふやでいい加減だけど私は許されちゃうそれは私が可愛いから そうよ私はでたらめで気まぐれで生意気でわがままで贅沢で気取り屋で嘘つきであやふやでいい加減だけど私は愛されてるそれは私が可愛いから
Hear the color spectrum of music of the Great American Songbook right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen. Man, I love those arrangements. Les Baxter, The Girl from Uganda is the name of that piece of music, coming from the late 1960s in that living stereo. And all that percussion and arranging. And they really spent a lot of money on all of those musicians. And then when you get to the 1980s and stuff, they cut all of those orchestral arrangements out with a lot of synthesized and electronic music to replace all that acoustic work. But there it is, The Girl from Uganda. Before that, Pizzicato 5 with I, Japanese group from 1999 was when that particular piece of music came out. We're just coming up to the last 22 minutes of this program here, and then Martin Usher joins us with jazz and then some from 8 to 10. Harbor Lights from 10 and beyond, your classic Thursday night lineup with Paul Maher. And here on Seaside FM, your home for the best music. Here is Let There Be Love, Julie London, right here on Evening Solitude with Charles Hsuen.
Let there be you, let there be me, let there be oysters under the sea, let there be wind and occasional rain, chili con carne, sparkling champagne. Let there be birds to sing in the trees, someone to bless me whenever I sneeze. Let there be cuckoos, a lark and a dove, but first of all, please, let there be love. Let there be you, let there be me, oysters under the sea. Let there be wind and occasional rain, chili con carne, sparkling champagne. Let there be birds to sing in the trees, someone to bless me whenever I sneeze. Let there be cuckoos, a lark and a dove, but first of all, please, let there be love. Let there be love. Let there be love. Let there be love.
Let There Be Love, Julie London. Great, great rendition. Okay, it's time now to give you your full 5-day Metro Weather Call forecast.
What's tomorrow's weather? What's the low? What's the high? Will it be way all right?
Your Metro Weather Call forecast for Halifax and the surrounding area for this Thursday, March the 12th. Tonight, a few clouds, fog patches developing overnight. Low of -3, except -8 in low-lying inland areas. On Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, becoming cloudy near noon. 30% chance of showers late in the evening. Fog patches dissipating in the morning. Winds gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 60 late in the afternoon. High of 4 degrees Celsius, wind chill at -8 in the morning. UV index reading at 3, which is in the moderate category. Friday night, rain ending overnight, then partly cloudy, a 30% chance of showers. Temperature rising to 8 by morning and amounts to 20 millimeters of rain. Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud, high of 6, low of -4. Sunday, mix of sun and cloud, high of 2 and a low -9. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday looking highs of 0, 2, and 5, and lows of -8, 0, and -2, respectively. For more weather information, log on to seasidefm.com. Current temperature outside the studios of Seaside FM, Eastern Passage, Fisherman's Cove, and Shearwater, 0 degrees Celsius, mainly sunny. with barometric pressure reading at 102.6 kilopascals and rising. And now, this brief word from some of our sponsors.
Seaside FM weather brought to you by Parkland at the Lakes, featuring all-inclusive living, assisted living, and memory care accommodations. Trial stay options also available. Call Mary Ann today for a complimentary lunch and tour. 902-407-0778.
Le Rendezvous de la Francophonie is an annual celebration that promotes the French language, heritage, and its many cultural expressions. Let's celebrate from March 1st to March 31st, 2020 across the country. Discover the RVF 2020 online newspaper at rvf.ca. Take part in many activities in your region and enter our national contest for a chance to win cash prizes or a trip to Switzerland. For more information, visit rvf.ca.
Remodeling your bathroom is a serious job that you can't leave up to just anyone.
What is this tool for?
I don't think you should do that, Scarlett.
But Grandpa said we could help.
At Beautiful Baths Renovations, we are a local family business celebrating 25 years.
We can come to your home and help you plan and design your bathroom.
At Beautiful Baths, we specialize in accessible bathrooms. Call 434-8088. That's 434-8088.
Let's do this!
This is the adult grown-up sound, Seaside FM.